The good news. I've got some great news for you today. Eventually you become enlightened, self-realized, God-realized. Eventually you achieve and attain enlightenment. You do. It's your destiny. It's why you're here. It's why you're born. That's why you incarnate so many thousands or millions of times into earthly bodies in order to become fully enlightened. The good news is that eventually you get there. Eventually you and I get there where we want to go, which is complete oneness with God, complete oneness with the Creator on all levels. Become like Jesus or Buddha or Krishna. Eventually we get there. It's just a matter of time and just a matter of incarnation. So it could take you thousands or hundreds of thousands or even millions of incarnations before you get the message, before you make the decisions that sort of get you there. But the good news is eventually you get there. It's just what you do in between and the amount of suffering that you're willing to tolerate and go through on the way to being God realized and being one with God and being fully enlightened. It's the amount of suffering you're willing to undertake, because that's what human existence is. It's suffering. Every time you come back, you're born into a human body, an earthly body, a biosuit that has to interact with the outside world. And that entails suffering. You need to get enough food, you need to get shelter, you need to get clothing, you need to get an income source. You need to grow food or be able to buy food. You need to be able to have relationships with the community around you. You may be incarnated in a time of war, then you might have to go and fight war. If you don't want to fight war, you might be imprisoned for not wanting to fight the war. And hence all this suffering that you need to go through. Time after time, you get married, you have children, you have grandchildren, you pass away, and then after a brief period of time, you are incarnated again. And again and again and again, and so on. You go through it. The good news is to God, the eternal Creator, is that a million years can be like a blink of an eyelid. A million years can be like 1 second, because time is an illusion. So you might spend between 60 to 90 years on the earth plane in an incarnation, and for you that feels like 60 to 90 years, but in eternity it's really less than a millionth of a blink of an eyelid. So if you spend hundreds of thousands of millions of years in different lifetimes, really it all equates to less than the blink of an eye in the Creator's eyes, the God that created you. So the good news is that you're already enlightened. You're already there. It's just you're already enlightened. You already have a self with a capital S. You already have a soul, a divine soul. That's you. That's who you are. No one can take that away from you. That's who you are. That's who you really are. The rest of it's just you working out your animal nature and being able to put your animal nature in check, your ego in check, and to be able to make choices and pursue your spiritual nature fully and completely and zealously. And of course, you're going to have to go through all the traps of religion and spirituality, but eventually you do make it through that. You eventually go through a few cults, or you go through a few major, global religions, and until you finally work your way through that and you become God-realized, self-realized, one with the Creator of all that is, and fully enlightened. Eventually you get there. Eventually you get to the other side. That may take you a few hundred or thousands of incarnations or a few thousand years before you get there. But the good thing is now, if you choose to now, you can make the intention now that you want to be fully enlightened, that you want to fully be one with God, that you fully want to know the truth about everything, and that includes God. So by creating that intention now, you've massively fast-tracked that process. Rather than letting it be something that happens randomly, you would fully engage your conscious mind on that journey with the full intention to get to God, to know the truth, and to be fully self-realized and God-realized and fully enlightened in this lifetime, in this current incarnation. When you make that intention now, and that you make that your daily intention every single day, you massively fast-track it, so you may achieve it in this lifetime. You may achieve your full enlightenment in this lifetime if you have that intention, or it may be the next or the next and next. But you're saving yourself hundreds of thousands, hundreds or even thousands of incarnations where you struggle through, muddle through. But by having that intention, by having that, you might be incarnated into a reality where it's difficult to be spiritual. It might be a very warlike earth plane, what we call a plane where you're incarnated on. It may be very difficult to be spiritual. You may have to, become, live in the jungle or something, or live in the desert, and subsist and commune with God in that way, because the rest of the world around you is actively at war. Or you may be incarnated to reality where its spirituality is very conducive. Or you may be incarnated to reality which is very futuristic and technology is at its maximum, and there's a lot of distraction away from ever wanting to go within and to seek God and seek full enlightenment, seek full God realization. Whatever you're in, if you start with that intention that you want to seek the truth, you want to find the truth, eventually you'll find a way to discern what is true and what is not true, because we cannot discern what is true and not true with our conscious mind. We must find a way to find what is true and untrue in order to discern your way through the many traps of being human. The good news, though, is you're already there, because, time is relative. What may seem like hundreds of thousands of years or hundreds of thousands or millions of incarnations to a human, to the earthly mind, is less than a blink of an eyelid to the Creator of all that is. So pretty much you're already there. You do get there. Eventually you get to your full enlightenment. Eventually you reach it. It's just a matter of how much suffering you're willing to go through until you choose to go on that pathway. Until you choose to, because you may fall down the traps of wanting to be really wealthy, and you may follow that trap for hundreds or thousands of years or incarnations. Or you might want to be very famous and you follow that trap for hundreds of thousands or millions of incarnations of years. Or you may want to just be the most perfect parent, and then, whatever it is, all the traps of being human, you might want to accumulate. You may want to be the most powerful leader in the world and control everybody and have everyone obey you. You may be the ultimate monarch, emperor, king, queen. You may want to be that. And that's a trap as well. So because it's all about ego, it's all about the animal self. Eventually you do get there. That's the great news. That is the fantastic news. Every single person, if you open your eyes and look at every person you see, eventually they get there. It's just a matter of when. And what may seem like hundreds of thousands of millions of years incarnations to you, it's less than the blink of an eye of a Creator. So eventually you get there. And in fact, you're already there. You already have a divine soul. You already have a part of you that is enlightened. It's about surrendering those aspects of you that are not enlightened. Wow, that was it. That was intense. I just got the urge to do that video today. This is Roger McDonald from Positive Emotional Healing. The great news is eventually you get there. It's just a matter of when. And what may seem like hundreds of thousands of millions of years or incarnations before you get there is really less than the blink of the eye of the Creator of all that is, of God. That's what we understand God to be. And you're already there. So it may seem like a long period of time, but really it's instantaneously, you're already there. It's just the illusion that you're taking time to get there. How deep is that? Have a fantastic day.